In this class, let us discuss about multiplexer. So multiplexer is also called as a data selector. Okay. So a multiplexer is a special type of combinational circuit. The block diagram of N to 1 multiplexer has shown below. This is a multiplexer. Many inputs. What is a multiplexer? Multiplexer means, so right, first M letter, no, many inputs and single output, many inputs and single output, nothing but a multiplexer. So multiplexer accepts n number of inputs, okay na? So and it produces only single output. For example, I may give two inputs, it will produce one output. I may give four inputs, one output. I may give eight inputs, one output. I may give 16 inputs, one output. I may give 32 inputs and only one output. Okay. So we should take number of inputs in the combination of 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4 and 2 to the power of 5. So base is 2 compulsory. This power gives us selection lines. So power gives the information to us, number of selection lines used in the particular multiplexer. So 2 by 1 multiplexer needed only one selection line. 4 by 1 multiplexer required two selection lines. 8 by 1 required three selection lines because 2 to the power of 3 equal to 8, no? So three selection lines. Here 4 selection lines, here 5 selection lines. So here 2 to the power of n into 1. The mathematical expression for the any multiplexer 2 to the power of n into 1, where n is the number of selection lines, so used in the particular multiplexer. Okay na? So mux means many to 1. So demultiplexer means opposite to the multiplexer. Okay na? So that is the information. So multiplexer has so inputs, outputs as well as selection lines. Multiplexer, demultiplexer, selection lines are compulsory. Okay na? So by using the selection lines, so the input will be passed to the output side. What are the input you are giving? Among multiple inputs, single input will be selected by the selection lines, and that will be transferred to the output. That's why it is called as a data selector. There are n data inputs. Yes, in that there are n data input lines. So these are the n data input D0 to D1, D2 up to so or D to power of n. So there are n data inputs and one output. Okay na? That selection and select the number of selection lines required based on the multiplexer. So multiplexer is a digital circuit which selects one of the n data inputs and give the only one output. The selection of one of the n inputs is done by the selection lines. Selection inputs are very important. To select the n inputs, we required m select lines such as 2 to the power of m equal to n. Okay na? For example, 2 to the power of 3 equal to 8. So it is a 8 inputs, no? So we required 3 selection lines. Where this is a selection line, it is a inputs. So m is a selection lines, n is the inputs. Depending on the digital code applied at the select inputs, one out of from n data sources is selected and transmitted to the single output y is called the strobe or enableability it, which is useful for cascading. So look at here. So I'm giving, for example, D0, D1, D2, so on Dn. So based on the selection lines, so D0 may be connected to the output. This is a switch actually. This is a switch. D0 may be connected, or so D1 may be connected, or D2 may be connected, or Dn minus 1. So any one of the switch is connected to this. Okay na? So internally, that's why multiplexer is a nothing but a selection line. Clear? Or data selector. Need of multiplexers. In most of the electronic system, the digital data is available on one or more lines. So it is essential to route this data over a single line. Under such circumstances, we require a circuit which select one of the many inputs at a time. Okay na? So multiplexer improves. Multiplexer improves the reliability of the digital system because it reduces the number of external wide connections. Okay na? Right. So only So many inputs are there, only single output. In order to select a single output among the many inputs, we require a selection line. So selection line may connect to the D0, D1, D2, D3, and Dn. So based on the selection lines. Okay. Advantages. So it reduces the number of bytes because in order to pass the input to the output, there is no dedicated lines are not required. A switch is used to connect input to the output to the input. It reduces the circuit complexity and cost. We can implement many combination circuits using mux. It does not need the K-maps for simplification. Okay, now this is about multiplexers. So types of multiplexers. So 2 by 1 multiplexer, 4 by 1 multiplexer, 8 by 1 multiplexer, and 16 by multiplexer. So first we give to 2 by 1 multiplexer. So 2 by 1 first indicates the input, second one indicates the output. So two inputs I am giving, D0, D1. It produces the single output Y0. So here S0 only how many two inputs, no, 2 to the power 1 equal to 2, no. So this one of them was selection single selection will be there for this. For example, 4 by 1 multiplexer. So 4 inputs and 1 output, D0, D1, D2, D3. So how many inputs are there? 4. So 2 square equal to 4, not 2 to the power of 2. So this 2 will become a selection line. Hence we understood. So S0, S1, 2 selections are required, and the output will be single output Y0. Okay, na? For example, how multiplexer is called as a data selector. So we'll see now. When I'm writing 0, 0, right? So D0, D1, D2, and D3. So D0 will be connected to the output. Okay, na? Whenever I'm writing 0, 1, right? When selection lines are 0, 1, selection lines are 0, 1. So now D1 will be connected to the output. Okay, na? Whenever selection lines are 1, 0, the selection lines are 1, 0. Okay, na? So this D2 will be connected to the output. And then when the selection lines are 1, 1, so D3 will be connected to the output. At any time, only one input will be connected to the output side. Remaining 3 are not selected. Only at a time, only one input will be selected, and that will be passed to the output side based on the selection lines. So 8 by 1 multiplexer. So here 8 inputs D0 to D1, D2, D7, and because 8 no 8 by 1, so 2 to the power of 3 into 1. So it required 3 selection lines, S0, S1, and S2. So output is always the single. Okay, na? So 16 by 1 multiplexer means 16 inputs and 16 by 1. Okay, na? 16 inputs and 4 selection lines are required for the 16 by 1 multiplexer. Okay. So here 16 by 1 multiplexer. So D0 to D15, 16 by 1 multiplexer means 2 to the power 4 equals 16, no? So say only single output and 4 selection are required, S0, S1, S2, and S3. Okay, so these are the introduction about selection lines. Multiplexer input may be many inputs and output only one. Okay, na? So 4 inputs, 1 output, 8 inputs, 1 output, 16 inputs, 1 output, 32 inputs, 1 output. Okay, na? So the inputs are going to be connected to the output based on the selection lines. So for example, selection of 0, 0, 0, D0 will be connected to the output. Selection of 0, 0, 1, D1 will be connected to the output. At a time, only one input is connected to the output. This is the information about multiplexer. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.